I've been reading about Allison Mack, and I'm going to go watch the documentary about this sex cult that she was in, which it was a sex cult. I'm going to go watch it today. But I've been reading about her, and she's facing 20 to 40 years in prison, and the guy who I guess they say the cult was for, he is doing life in prison right now. He's already been charged. And what they're saying is that they did sex trafficking. And the more I learn about the legal system, the more I realize that there will be a law that was written to prevent something very serious like sex slavery, like people putting women, like people kidnapping women from other countries and trafficking them, and then giving them like heroin or something, giving them drugs, keeping them drugged up, and then holding them as sex slaves. They'll take that law and they'll be like, oh, you drove someone from New York to California to have sex. And I just saw a porn recently that was someone that's like trip for sex or something like that, which would be sex trafficking. But I'm really concerned about this, putting someone in prison for 20 to 40 years. I mean, I understand like if she was blackmailing people, if you can't blackmail someone to have sex with you. That is, in my opinion, rape. Like you're raping them if you're blackmailing them. But if you're encouraging someone to have sex with you and you're a bisexual person, so you want to have group sex, I feel like the real charge against Allison Mack and against this guy is that they were too sexually active. And my guess is the judge is someone that never has sex. Like that's the thing. What happens is there are all these people that have sexless relationships, and they're the ones that hate the people that have sex the most. And granted, I don't have sex. I haven't had sex for years. I'm someone that probably is called a pervert on the internet, who hasn't had sex for like ever, because I'm waiting for my people. But the thing is, okay, so I feel like the most shocking thing is when they say, oh, she got branded, and with this guy, she got branded with this guy's initials, and therefore that's abuse. But the reality is that 50 Shades of Grey is one of the most popular books in the world, and that's one of the most popular movies around, and that is all about people that enjoy pain and pleasure. BDSM is a very common sex act, and so at some point, if it's a willing thing, then is there something wrong with it? Like, could I potentially get branded with someone's initials someday? Theoretically, yeah. And you know what? I would probably think it's sexual or very sexy depending on the situation, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to do it. I mean, more than likely I'd get a tattoo or something like that, which is a tattoo a branding. Yeah. So if people are getting tattoos, can we start charging them with sex crimes? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out like, why are all these boring ass straight people that are super Christian, that have this like monogamy's the only way perspective, putting people in prison for their entire life for having sex? I mean, like, you can't blackmail someone. I agree with that. I agree you can't blackmail someone into having sex with you, but it doesn't sound like that's what was actually happening. I mean, but because granted, I haven't read enough. But I'm just trying to figure this out here. Like, is everyone so stuck in this mindset that we all have to be like them, that we're not allowed to be different? That like, if you're someone who's different, who's someone that's bisexual, or apparently pansexual is what I am. I don't even know I don't know what I am. Because I don't care enough. I'm whatever I feel like being. Apparently people like that are so offensive that we should go to prison for the rest of our lives. I mean, I don't know. I'll watch the documentary and see what the actual blackmail was, and once I see what the blackmail was, then I'll make my decision on whether or not there's something wrong with this cult. But I think for a lot of people, it's just like for me specifically, it sounds like a lot of fun. Like, it sounds like a lot of like really kinky, fun, sexual stuff that like involves a lot of role playing and enjoying yourself. And for people that are outside the cult who really enjoy their sexless relationship that they've been in for 20 years, and suddenly you no longer have sex except on special occasions like your anniversary, for those people, it's incredibly offensive that someone would actually want to be sexually fulfilled. I don't know. I think that the world is full of very judgmental people.